Introducing the host of the podcast, Jerome King.
Y'all ready for this? I'm doing the podcast at Hess's house tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Now, many of you, and by many of you, I mean probably all of you, are thinking, well, who the fuck is Hess? Why do we care who Hess is? And, well, you're probably right to think that he is a man that does podcasts with us over here at Pleeka. And I'm watching his doggies for him. And, I got to do the podcast here. So, yeah, it's going to look different. I kind of like this. I get to stand up and be free. So if this is fun, maybe we'll implement this into every other podcast. If not, I'll be back at my table next week. So let me, I got myself a little... whitey. Not bad. Alright. I thought, because I like to introduce these podcasts in weird ways every time. First time I danced. First time it was actually only audio. Second time I danced. Third time, sorry, I spaced out, was, I don't remember, honestly. So I do it weird every time. But so I thought maybe I'd do a little rap for you guys. So, alright, well, I moved my recorder to the floor just so I could, have it a little bit different. And I could be, moving a little bit. This is real heavy, though. Like in my ear. It's so weird. I hope this doesn't ruin the whole podcast. This happened when me and Nick were doing Saul. And right in the beginning, or Captain Cook. And right in the beginning, we heard some bitch listening to music. And we were like, is that Taylor downstairs? And it wasn't. But now I can hear it again. That's really weird. I think it's my recorder picking up some shit. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you feel that beat. Feel that juicy beat. Last night, I fucked your dad twice. I came in his mouth, then I came in his woo-woo. Whew, it's hot. I wanna fuck your dad all night. I wanna make your dad my wife. Can I bend your dad over twice? Make the motherfucking jizz in my eyes. I was gonna feel this one, okay? I've never heard this song before in my life. Okay. There's a baby in here. Oh shit. I'm a little baby. Will you clean my diaper? I just made a poop. Will you clean my fucking diaper? I'm a little baby. Will you clean my diaper? I just made a poop. Will you clean my fucking diaper? It's so stinky. I ate broccoli for dinner. It was mashed, but it still looks so gross. Oh my god. Is that toast? What the fuck else did you eat, baby? My poops are stinky. They stink so bad. Especially in a diaper mushed up on my ass. Oh my god. Daddy, clean my diaper. Daddy, clean my diaper. Yeah, 'cause it's late at night, Daddy. I took a shit in my bed after you tucked me at nighty. Oh yeah, clean my diaper, Dad. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I'm done. Alright, well, I either rapped for you guys and put it in the podcast, or I cut all that out because it's awkward as fuck. So we'll see. Alright, well, so like I said, I'm watching Hess's house, and it's really interesting watching people's houses. I've been watching people's houses for a long time now. I'm kind of like the residential house watcher of people that know me. Like, you go out of town and you're like, well, Jerome does nothing except for, like, YouTube, so he can watch my house, sure. Like, my grandma does it. My aunt almost did it, but then she got my cousin to it because she's a little bitch. And now Hess does it, and did it for my sister, too. But, yeah, and it's really interesting because certain places, I've been there so much that it does kind of feel like a second home. But then, like, and it also depends on how long I'm there, that if it gets weird or not. But the thing is, I've learned over the years of watching people's houses is that I get lonely. And if I ever live, like, not in my mom and dad's house, I'm gonna need a roommate. Because like, I just need a person. I don't even need to interact with you. I don't need to see you every day. I just knowing there's another person in the vicinity that if I want to do any activity, if I want to watch a movie or something, that I can just go over there and like talk to you. It's nice. But then when there's no one around, you're kind of like, "Hey, dog, how you doing? You want more food? Okay, I'll get you more food. I'm gonna sit here on the couch and watch the 18th episode of Pretty Little Liars that I've started watching. You wanna?" Okay. Like, it gets so lonely. Then, like, you make... the days repeat, especially in quarantine. You can't even leave that much. The days just blend into each other so much. I'm not trying to, like, say that I have a poor life. You know, like, this is pretty good. I'm literally getting paid to just sit at someone's house and eat food and make YouTube videos and such. It's not like it's hard. But mentally on you, it is a little draining. It gets a little, you know... But yeah, I've learned too recently. So after the last podcast, every one of these podcasts, I feel like afterwards I just sound like an emo bitch. Kind of happens a lot. I'll complain about like, oh, I was in my head about this video, blah blah blah. Like normally I'll be feeling like I just rapped for like how long? Maybe almost 10 minutes. Only one of those are probably going in the video, but the whole time instead of just getting into it and rapping, the whole time I'm like, oh, this is going terribly wrong, and then I start getting hot, and then I watch the footage and it's fine. But I've also learned that I have fun over like sitting here. I've been bored all day. I just edited a highlight and uploaded it to Pleeka and shit. But I get bored and like I play games. I'll go play video games or something, and I'll come back. Like it just feels like nothing is satisfying. But then like and that's not just being at someone else's house. That's even at my house. I'll be bored all day, and then the boredom leads to me feeling depressed and all that shit. And then eventually, once I get this microphone in my hand and I have something to talk about, that's when I'm the happiest. Or I'm in front of a camera doing something, then I'm like, oh, I have a purpose. There's something I could do. Which you might be watching and thinking, hey, your purpose might be fucking flipping burgers at McDonald's, pal. You're not good at this. Which maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong. But what I'm leading to is the second this leaves my hand, those feelings from before come back, but doubled. I feel double depressed. And everything's like, wow. So not only was I sad before and waiting to come film this video, once I filmed it, I was bad at it, and it went horribly wrong. So then I don't even want to look at the footage. So sometimes it'll take me 2 or 3 days to sit down and edit a video because I'm afraid to look at the footage. And I'll be like, I don't know, like, because I'm afraid that I'm going to have to look at it, scrap it, and film it again, and then it won't be as, and then like, I just get in my head about it. And then I start watching it, and I'm like, oh, if I just cut out these little bits, we're good, and it comes out fine. Or like, even if sometimes I don't have to cut out anything, and I just got to cut to different camera angles, and I can make it good. But I get real in my head about all that shit. And, yeah, I don't know, I'm kind of a sad boy sometimes. By that I mean most of the time. And I don't know, other than this podcast, I don't know if people know that a lot about me. I feel like a lot of people think that I'm a very, very happy boy. But most of the time that's not the case. That's not the case, is what I just said. In case you were wondering, did he say is that the case and not case? Yes, that's what happened. Another thing that's been in my mind lately is first world problems, and how every time somebody complains about something that's considered a first world problem, I don't know why I'm doing this, you know, sometimes I feel like I do these right, sometimes I feel like I do these wrong. They're like, oh, you know, well, it may be a first world problem, I'm sorry about that, but then they continue to complain about it. But I honestly think, why not? Why can't you complain about first world problems? Like, what's wrong with that? Just because someone in another country has a much bigger problem than what you're currently going through, why does that mean you're not allowed to complain about what's currently wrong in your life? You know? Like, I don't remember what it was. There's something I was thinking about complaining the other day, and I was like, oh, I can talk about it on the podcast. And I go, that kind of makes you sound like a bitch. And I was like, well, you know what? Actually, who cares? I forgot what it was, but... And I was just like, I don't understand why you have to be like, okay, this is the first world problem, but, you know, I can't watch Umbrella Academy on Netflix right now, and it really bums me out. Like, why can't you say that? You know? Comment down below what you think about that, and if you have a reason why that makes sense, and not just because people are dying and they can't eat. Because it's obvious, I know, but I got problems too that I want to complain about. But let me know your thoughts on that. But speaking, so I just brought up Umbrella Academy. Has anybody out there watched Umbrella Academy? Don't worry, I'll wait. If you here, I'll sit down right here. You watch it. Oh, you're done? Okay, cool. The first season, I watched it alone. My sister watched it at her apartment. We watched the first episode together, and then she watched the whole season really quick without me. So it took me some time to watch it. And I watched it by myself, and I was like, this is good, but like nothing great, Like it's not the best show I've ever seen. And then shortly after that, Doom Patrol came out. I loved Doom Patrol. And then I got my sister to watch it because I was like, it's very similar, but better in my opinion. And we watched that. She really, really, really liked it. And then now Doom Patrol Season 2 came out. We watched that together. Loved it. Now Umbrella Academy Season 2 is out. And I was like, well, I think I will like this one more because we're going to watch it together. And I was right. I really, really liked this season. The first episode I really liked. And then the second and third and fourth, kind of like first season, and nothing happened. It's entertaining, but nothing, really happens. And then shit hits the fan and it gets really, really, really good. But I really, really enjoyed it, especially where it ended. I was like, ooh, spicy. I like that. Let's see where this goes. And what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, it got me. I want to read the books now, the comics. So we went to Walmart the other day and it's not like I'm going to Walmart to find comics, but normally the Walmart by my house, whenever there's a big show out, will have like comics that are like it there. And I was like, oh, I'll just check if they have it there. If not, because I'm at Hess's house, so I'm not gonna try to go find like a comic shop. I'm like, I'll just see if they have it. If not, whatever. Maybe I'll buy it online. And I looked. That reminds me what I was going to complain about. So we looked there. They had the world's shittiest book section. Mostly kids shit and then cooking shit and then a stupid Trump book. So we were looking there and I was like, whatever. I'll just get it on. I'll order it on Amazon or I'll go to Zia's. I normally get my books either from Amazon or Zia's. Zia Records, if you don't know what that is. And then we came home and I looked online. And so it was like, I think it was like 11 or 10.79 or something to order off Amazon, and I was like, oh, that's not bad. And then I was like, well, let me see how much it is digital, because I don't mind reading digital. Sometimes I prefer it. It depends on the book. And the digital version is like 30 cents more on Comixology, which is Amazon Comics. And I was like, what the fuck is that about? Why is digital more expensive? You literally scanned a comic book, put it online so I could read it, and now you're making that more expensive? That's bullshit, right? But I really did. I'm not gonna say any spoilers about it, because it is still kind of new. But I thought the ending was great. I really, really liked it. I thought the little Swedish bad guys could have, they were cool, but if they were gone, I don't think it would have hurt the story in any way. But the one thing this show does better than most shows like this is their music is chef's kiss. It's so good, especially every fight scene. They have I think it's a Backstreet Boys song they fight to. Like everything is so perfect with the music, and I really, really like that. So if you haven't checked out Umbrella Academy, I'd say give it a chance. You might not be into it right off the bat, but I think by like episode 3 or 4 of the first season, if you're not into it, it's probably not the show for you. But if you do like shows, like anything superhero in general, you'll probably enjoy this, because I did. It did take me a bit to get into it, but I always recommend this, watching a show with another person, especially because then you could talk to them about things, or I don't know. I feel like it just makes the shows more fun if you watch it with another person. So something I want to bring up that I forgot. I remember this while I was editing last week. Last week I talked about my first job, which I hope this light isn't fucking up my face. I just set up this shit randomly. But my first job, I mentioned it last week, went through the horror story of it. Yeah, if you want to know about that, watch the last episode. But there's some bits that I forgot to talk about. I mean, one of them was, so if you don't know, I'll give you the brief summary. I was 18 years old. My uncle got me a construction job in Alabama. Here's a picture of what I looked like then. I was a real little boy, And I mean, I'm little now, but I got some muskies, But so I was a construction worker there, and I hated it. All the people there cheated on their wives and were mean to me and made me cry and all kinds of shit. But anyways, when it was getting, so last week I said it was bad, and then it got good for like a day or two, and then it got bad again. When it was getting good for a day or two, I was sleeping. I believe I just watched like episode 2, season 5 of Breaking Bad, so I was like, ooh, I'm having a good life. I'm laying in bed, and my roommate, who's the only person there that I didn't bring this up last week, but he's the only person there that I actually enjoyed hanging out with. At first, I was a little scared because he was a little scary, but eventually, me and him kind of became friends. I've never talked to him since. Never said a single word to him since, but, we had fun there. I'm sorry if you hear squeaking. Hess's dogs are crying for me downstairs. I gave them treats. I thought that'd make them good when I went up here, and I turned on Friends for them, so they have a nice show to watch, and, that didn't help either. But I'm sleeping. It's probably like 1 in the morning, and we have to get up at 5 to eat and 6 to leave to go to our, construction site where we're working on the street. And my roommate wakes me up and goes, "Hey, Jerome, I got these prostitutes," which he got in trouble for this later on. I kind of heard it in and outs of this, but he got in trouble for this later on. They're like, "Hey, don't bring prostitutes back to the hotel room, please. And if you do, you got to buy your own hotel room." Because apparently he got in trouble. He was fucking prostitutes downstairs in the jacuzzi of our hotel room. But he woke me up and goes, "Hey, Jerome, here, I'll be him. Hey, Jerome, I got a couple black girls downstairs. You want to get your pee touched by a black girl?" And I was like, "What?" And he goes, I got some black girls downstairs. You want to get your pee touched by them?" And I was like, "Huh?" And he goes, "They're prostitutes. I got them off Craigslist. They're downstairs. You want to get your dick wet?" And no, man, I'm good. We got to work in the morning, and I'm not really into prostitutes. Sorry. You go have fun. More for you now, I guess. And I went back to bed and didn't see him. In the morning I got up. He wasn't in the room, and I just got dressed, and I was like, I guess he's still with them. I don't know. Figured out it's because he got up earlier and got in trouble and all that. But yeah, and so then I told my, thinking that's a funny story. Told my parents about that. I think they were like having lunch or something, and I told they kept switching the phone around. I had to tell everybody the story, and then afterwards, when I hung up, my mom was like, "Do you guys think Jerome got his pee-pee touched by her? Like, do you think he actually had what?" And I was like, "Motherfucker! First of all, if I'm gonna fuck prostitutes in Alabama while I'm working, and I talk to my parents the next morning, or the next day after work, I'm not gonna be like, 'Hey, guess what I did last night? So this girl Susie was downstairs sucking my dick.' Like, that's not gonna happen." Like, what the fuck what was my mom thinking? But I still think to this day, my mom thinks that I had sex with a prostitute in Alabama. Well, I feel like this has only been going for like 25 minutes. I feel like I should talk for a little bit longer because I don't know how long of those raps that I'm going to cut out are. So, some other stuff. I've been watching a lot in quarantine, probably like the rest of you guys have. Which, how's your quarantine been going? Has it gotten any better? Has your quarantine gotten any better? I forgot you can't talk to me. But so I watched a lot of movies. The other night, me and my sister, we watched, what's it called? Tax Collector, starring Shia LaBeouf. We watched American Pickle and watched Palm Springs. Palm Springs is by far the best of the three. I got 14 minutes left on that camera. That movie, at the end of it, the credits were rolling. We were like, wow, that was really, really good. But there was one thing we were complaining about. I'm not going to say spoilers because, people haven't seen it. But then there's an after credit scene, like midway through the credits, and Saul was the only thing that we were like, well, they should have done that at least. And then they did that, and we're like, oh, okay. I think Palm Springs is a perfect movie. Now, a lot of you may be thinking, it's a comedy. How is that a perfect movie? Like, how is there a perfect movie that's a time-traveling comedy, But it's not really time travel. It's stuck in a time loop or whatever. But I think, honestly, that is. I could watch that movie again and again. It is so funny, so well made. I love it. I need to watch more like that. But that was really, really good. So American Pickle was good. could have been better. It's entertaining because there's nothing, new coming out in the world, really, but except for right now, all of a sudden now there's like 18 new things, but there won't be anything new for a bit. So I'd watch that, but, I'd watch Palm Springs first on Hulu. But Tax Collector, starring Shia LaBeouf, was not very good. Like, I'm glad I watched it. I'm glad I got the story, and I got the, blah, 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 blah. But, like, if you're going into that because you want to see an action movie with Shia LaBeouf, you ain't going to get that. And I'm not trying to spoil the movie for you. I'm trying to warn you because we paid $15 for the fucking movie, thinking it was going to be a cool Shia LaBeouf movie, and it was pretty iced. Shia LaBeouf is great in it for what he's in, but spoilers, he's not in it very much. Yeah, it's not very good. I didn't like the Tax Collector. I'm glad I saw it. I'd recommend renting it. I don't recommend buying it. That's what I gotta say about that. So, like, I think those are the 3 new movies that have come out recently. Out of those 3, I'd watch Palm Springs. If you are kind of, debating which one to watch. I mean, everybody has Hulu, everybody has Netflix, or not everybody has HBO Max, I guess. So HBO Max is the only way you watch American Pickle. We got that. But I recommend Palm Springs out of all the new shit coming out. So after this podcast, I expect you guys, if you haven't already, watch that and watch Umbrella Academy, and then leave some comments on this podcast and tell me your thoughts about it. Because I think those are both pretty great.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Oh, I got one more movie I watched. This is not new. It's very, very old. I don't know the date, but, it doesn't matter. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I believe Next Generation, starring Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Next Generation.
Such a weird fucking movie. So fucking weird. But oddly, so entertaining. It's definitely, without a doubt, Matthew McConaughey's weirdest movie. No question about it. It's the weirdest movie he's ever been in. He does say, all right, in it. They make Texas Chainsaw Massacre like a cross-dresser a little bit. And also, not a single person gets killed by a chainsaw in the movie. They get close. They're like, and they're going at the girls and shit. But it doesn't happen. Apparently, a lot of filming in the movie was like illegal shit. Like, they're climbing up. At one point, Renee Zellweger is climbing up the roof of the building. She's on the roof. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre comes out the window, goes up with her. She climbs up on the fucking antenna, so they have TV, satellite antenna, whatever, hanging on it. He's fucking swatting at her with the chainsaw. He could easily kill her, but he's not for some reason. Maybe it's because she's the main character or something. But then she jumps off of the fucking antenna onto the electrical wires above by this tree and crawls away. Those break. She falls through a glass house. Like, it's nuts, and you can tell they really did all that too. But that movie, if you have not seen that and you like horror movies, like weird horror movies, like Texas Chainsaw Massacres, I'd say watch that because it's written very goofy, very, very goofy. But it's on purpose. They say, they always say that afterwards. If you say, we did that on purpose. We rewrote the teens' dialogue to be weird because, thought it'd be a good parody. Which maybe it was true. I don't know. But I was surprised. I've seen it before, but not in full. But I was surprised that kind of smacks a little bit. That's pretty good. I kind of enjoyed Texas Chainsaw Massacre: A New Generation. But yeah, I liked it. It's very, very weird. The one thing I did not like about it, and I'm gonna spoil right here, so if you don't want to know about it, you get the fuck out of here. The whole movie's weird, but there's this subplot that they keep mentioning that Matthew McConaughey works for the people that they killed JFK, people that make things happen in the world. They see everything and all this shit, and they're like, okay, you're like, okay, but this guy's just a psychopath. He's lying to his girlfriend the whole time. And then this fucking dude comes over and they're about to kill Renee Zellweger, I think, and he walks in and he rips open his shirt and he has 3 balls going down his chest with piercings in it and shit, and all this stuff on his chest, and you're like, what is happening? It's like a suit dude. And before that, Matthew McConaughey talked about how like the FBI is watching this house, listening constantly, and blah 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 blah, all this stuff. So you're like, oh shit, is that true? And then that guy leaves, and then it goes back to being normal Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And then the girl escapes, and then it becomes like the exact same ending almost as normal Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where the hitchhiker girl, leaves and all that shit, except she gets into this car, or this RV, with this old couple, and then Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherface is fucking hitting the RV with his chainsaw and all that shit. It ends up flipping the RV, like, they crash. So Matthew McConaughey and Leatherface go and get them and all shit. And then a fucking airplane comes down, clips Matthew McConaughey, and I don't know if it even gets Leatherface or not. But then, the girl's like, oh shit, and she gets out of the car, and the FBI agent comes back up and picks up the girl and leaves, and that's how the movie ends. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened? And that's the only part I didn't like was that ending, because it felt like a bunch of nonsense. Like, I liked the little subplot of Matthew McConaughey shit, but then it doesn't get explained, and I know there's no more sequels to that, so I know I'm not going to get the answers. But overall, I did enjoy it, and it was kind of an interesting movie. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time that we wrap up this, podcast, I guess. It was fun. It's weird doing it this way. I do feel like I'm a little more creative on my feet talking, so let me know if you liked it this way better or not. Yeah. I was less sad this episode, so I hope you guys like that. I didn't complain about my feelings the whole time. I did mention it because, it's my podcast. I don't know if I mentioned, but this is if you know me, don't listen to this podcast. And if you listen to any of this and you know me, you broke the goddamn rules. I don't appreciate that. So yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. I'm having fun doing this. Is kind of my own thing. I still am not sure if this is every week, every other week. At this point right now, this is every other week. I told you guys I'd film at Hess's house more, but we had to film Captain Cook yesterday when I was gonna film this. So this was supposed to come out today as I'm filming it, or yesterday actually as I was filming it. You know what I'm trying to say. It's supposed to come out yesterday, but now I'm filming it today. So this will probably be this coming up Sunday, or maybe I won't upload it Sunday. I don't know. Does that matter? Let me know too. Does it matter if I upload it on a consistent date, or do you guys just rather if I have the podcast done and edited, upload it? Because I'll do that if you guys don't mind the date, and then I don't have to be like, fuck, I gotta film this Sunday. What do I have to talk about? Oh, I had a scab on my balls the other day, I guess. They don't gotta be like that. So let me know. Or if no one's watching this, I guess I'll just do the same thing. So yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, mother bitch.